Hey, everybody, and welcome to The Grid. We are live, and this marks the first official show of RC being the official co-host. So now it's just me and RC and this other guy.
All right. Welcome, everybody. How are you guys doing?
All right, let's talk about the other guy. We are very excited today to have with us, number one, a very cool guy. Great photographer with an amazing history, and he's been really involved in the last few years in working on protecting our photos. I don't mean like copyright, protecting our photos, like protecting our history and our visual history, Mr. Kevin Gilbert.
Thanks.
Kevin, welcome to the show.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here in the belly of the beast of the Kelby One Empire.
This is it, the belly of the beast. But you know what else? Speaking of beast,
Where's he going? Where's he going?
Also joining us with a beautifully manicured beard.
Looks pretty good.
Mr. Brad Moore. Hey, Brado.
What's up?
You are.
You're right there.
Are you trying to attract the ladies today with that look? You notice how we look down
Scott,
a little like,
He did.
Hey,
He was doing
what's up?
He did a little
I don't have to
smoldering.
try.
What was that?
I don't have to try.
He doesn't have to try. Wow.
It just happens.
Oh,
Wow. Already with the diva.
Already. You know, he gets a beard and all of a sudden, he's... Hey, I got to tell you something, though. I think I was a little... Brad and I, perhaps both, were publicly slighted today.
What do you mean you were publicly cited? What are you talking about?
Well, people announced their sexiest man of 2014. I thought one of us was a shoo-in, right, Brad? Didn't you think we...
You would have thought.
I mean, seriously.
Until I came from behind. Muchas gracias, ladies. No, I'm totally, I'm just totally kidding, dude.
Oh, my Lord.
I'm totally kidding. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Hey, back with you live. We were slighted, but that doesn't mean that... I don't know what that means.
The show must go on.
Anyway, I was a little disappointed. Starting when you start off your day with that kind of news, right?
It just bums you out.
And it was some other guy. It's a movie or something. It wasn't you.
No?
No. It should have been. You were my backup vote.
Man.
Hey, so we're here to talk with Kevin today. We better get on to Kevin quick because this is going to get bad. Hey, so I want to talk. We're gonna do some cool stuff today. You guys have heard of Mylio because it made such a huge splash at Photo Plus East. We're going to talk about that later. Mm-hmm. But I want to talk about. You know, we don't talk about enough on this show.
Love.
All for it.
We love you. Here's what we want to talk about.
We love you guys, too.
We like you, pretty good. No, so you've had an amazing career as a photographer. So I always think, and I think a lot of people that know you always talk about this, but you were a White House photographer. You covered the White House, right?
I did. I worked for the Washington Times. I was chief photographer, and my role was to do most of the big kind of things. And I had a great staff working around me. But I got to cover the White House. Most people that work in a newspaper in Tampa or some other city, they have to go down to the mayor's office because he's the top local citizen. Yeah. In Washington, D.C., the top local citizen happens to be the president of the United States. So as a newspaper photographer, you cover protests, presidents, Congress, Supreme Court, things that kind of matter to the rest of the world. And nice. It's really fun. So I did my stint as a journalist. I started with Ronald Reagan. He's actually leaving to go to Reykjavik. There's George Bush and his drinking buddy, Boris Yeltsin. Bill and Hillary Clinton. People always want to know the story behind that one.
Well, okay, let's go back. What's the
let's
story
go back.
behind that one?
Well,
people always want to know.
Everybody reads things into these pictures. And what this is really an age-old tradition at the White House. Every year around Easter, the back south lawn fills with all these little kids for the traditional White House Easter egg roll. Right. And this was the Clintons' first time to go out with these kids. Well, the kids all get down and they're supposed to push an egg with a spoon on the ground in a little race. And the president does a ceremonial first, kind of like the first pitch, but it's the first roll. And when they did that roll, the kids actually flung the eggs up in the air to kind of like win in one swoop. And that's when Mrs. Clinton kind of like, wow, and he's blowing the whistle to start this little race.
And here I thought she would just had a face predicting the future. Sorry.
All right, so do we have any more pictures? We have more pictures, right?
So I did Bush 41, which was his dad.
That's a great shot.
And this is
that's a cool shot.
Bush 43, internally known as Shrub.
Shrub?
Little Bush.
I
know. Thank you very much. And so these were the four presidents that I covered, but this was my favorite president, Martin Sheen, playing Jed Bartlett on The West Wing.
He was great.
He should have been the president, honest to God. And then Jimmy Smits, who succeeded him on the 6th and 7th season.
I like that guy. Do you know why? He's tall.
Yeah.
I like tall presidents.
He does. He really does.
Martin Sheen is like this tall.
That's okay. He was still really good, and he was a really good White House chief of staff in the movie American President.
And one of my favorites.
One of my
Michael
favorites
Douglas.
as well. Right.
Don't you have
Terrific.
you have a thing for the American president? Like
I do.
I've noticed that. It's a great movie.
It's one of my favorite movies.
It is on my top 5. You ask my wife Jamie, and every time I see it on TV, I just sit and stare.
Oh yeah, it's one of those ones. If it goes by, I cancel. My wife is the same way about Twister.
Really?
Twister
Oh, yeah.
comes on.
Twister, yeah,
She's
I
like,
got it.
I have to
Twister?
watch it. Oh, dude, you know how many times I've watched Twister? All right.
Huh.
So
All right,
Kevin,
all right,
so
okay.
you're covering the White House. So, and one day you're walking down the hallway, you turn a corner, and there's Bill Clinton, and fill in the blank.
Boy, that's a.
Oh, I was hoping for some salacious. Oh yeah.
No,
turn
you know,
the corner.
so when you're a member of
Bill
the
smash.
press corps, you don't go anywhere in the White House unaccompanied, and they always know you're coming. You can't even photograph things through the window. It's just kind of like, even if you're standing in the Rose Garden and the president's inside, taking those kind of pictures, they just say, you know what, it's off limits, and they'll pull your credential. They'll leave you, you know, get another photographer in here from the Associated Press or something. They'll do it.
All right, so you did this for well over 12 years, I'm assuming.
Right, 13 years. That's 1 over 12. So that's good.
Right.
That's good.
3 presidents.
Yeah, no, I did it for
I got
13,
it.
13 years of working in Washington. Stayed in Washington, D.C., and started working for Discovery Channel, doing all kinds of TV shows with a friend of mine, Mark Burnett, who, you know, has gone on
That's
to
the
do
guy from Survivor, right?
Survivor,
Amongst other things.
The Apprentice, The Contender,
No,
The
but-
Voice. Are you smarter than a 5th grader?
The presidents you covered: Hoover,
I'm not that old.
Eisenhower. No.
No, FDR.
FDR.
and Teddy.
Okay, there we go.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy.
Yeah.
All right. So, but what else? I mean, you've done a lot of things. You lead workshops all over the world. You've been everywhere. You have just about been everywhere.
Yeah, sometimes I regret going to 70 countries, but you know, it's
70 countries?
I've been to 70 countries, either traveling through or shooting, and just been covering, you know, traveling and doing news of the world and
Wow.
really enjoying myself.
You know what? And that's one of those things. It's like I admire looking at pictures like this because I think it really does express a sense of moment, a sense of story. I mean, you can go out and you can take pictures of places, but one of the things that I've thought was good about what you were doing with this is it really does involve a sense of a moment. It's not just a place and it's pretty and that moment in time, but you really do feel it. You really do feel the element of story in a lot of the pictures that you're working
You know,
with.
this set of pictures is just a random set of pictures from different places, TV shows, things I've done, places I've been, and yeah, these are the good ones. And you know, the difference between a professional and an amateur, right? The pros only show you the good ones. I've shot a lot of really, you know, bad photographs in my time. You know, you might shoot 1,000 pictures at a football game. There's only 10 good ones.
So Kevin, that's the real topic of our show today. This is actually an intervention. You've taken thousands of bad photos today, and that's what RC really and I wanted to talk to you about.
You have it's a conversation.
It's a conversation. So no, we're just messing with you. He's like, I've walked into a trap. Hey, so one of the things you've been doing after all of this stuff is for the last couple of years, you've really been immersed in this whole idea of protecting your photos, and that's what the show's about. So we're going to take a short break in a minute, and then we're going to come back and we're going to dig a little deeper into this. I grabbed a clip of you at the TEDx conference that you spoke at, and I want to show just a little bit of it, just a tiny bit, and then we're going to talk about some stuff. You're going to show us some software. We have a lot to do today, so and you have to leave right at the end of the show. You've got to go race to the airport.
Yeah,
So
I like to be home as much as I can these days.
Oh, I understand. And so what we've tried to do, though, is position our studio so it was in 15 minutes of the airport. So
Nice.
you'll
Thank you
get
very
there.
much.
And
I
there's no
appreciate it.
traffic because everyone is trying to get away from the airport.
Now, if you want to join us on that part of the conversation, obviously we're going to come back from a break, but if you want to follow on Twitter, make sure that you go to the hashtag #TheGridLive, or make sure that you're at the kelbytv.com/thegrid page, and inside of there you'll see a chat box.
Hey, where else could they
Join
be
us.
watching this, by the way?
They could be watching this on the Grid Live. They could be watching this on kelby1.com/thegrid. They could be watching this on Kelby TV. So if you're watching this on any of those channels, make sure that you go into the chat. We want to be able to hear from you. We want to hear stories about what's happening with that.
We want to hear stories about what's happening with that. Hey, Kay, I got a couple of quick stories before we go.
Yep.
All right. So I reached a milestone before we take a break. I reached a milestone. Ready? All right. It has taken me 7 long years to reach this milestone. And I actually have a photographic image of it. So if we
grab
can, you got it?
Yep.
It took me 7 years, but I finally photographed all 32 NFL teams, and I made a poster for my house. So see the NFL logo? This is for my house. I'm not selling this. It's not in stores. It's for my study at home. And unless NFL officials come over, I'm okay. Anyway, but I made this big poster. Brad printed it out for me. Big old giant. It's got all 32 teams. And it's not like necessarily my favorite shot from each one, but I wanted to kind of just... Anyway, so that was it. 7 years. Why did it take me 7 years? You know why? Because I've been shooting for a wire service for the past couple of years. And what happens is I cover the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're in my backyard. Well, we play the same teams a lot. We play everybody in our division a whole bunch. So we play the Falcons twice a year, the Panthers twice a year, the Saints twice a year. Any bad team, we play them twice a year. And then, because we are the baddest of the bad. So, and then we wind up playing a lot of the same teams. And so down 2 years ago, not last season, this season, I still had 3 teams left. I still had the Buffalo Bills I hadn't shot. I had the Kansas City Chiefs. I finally got those 2 done. And I missed the Ravens twice. And so I had to actually wind up shooting them with the Falcons to actually catch them up with it. But I did. Took me all 30. Now, the new challenge, all 32 stadiums. I have 12 left. And I've covered one this weekend. I'm going to be up in Philly this weekend shooting for the Titans.
It's going to be cold.
It's going to be really cold. But you know what? I've always wanted to shoot up there, and I have friends up there, and so I'm looking forward to it. My buddy Don Jones with the Titans. I'm shooting with his crew. So I will actually reach that. Number 2 is we're giving a special giveaway today. Yeah, we do. It is my brand new book. It's so new, it doesn't even have a name. No, there it is. It does have a name. It's my Photoshop CC book for digital photographers. Just came out. Brand new, so new. I don't think it's even, well, it should be in bookstores. Pre-orders, I think they're shipping already. But anyway, this is, it's got all kinds of shortcuts and workarounds. It's got my whole workflow. I changed quite a lot, but you can get a free excerpt if you want. If you go to kelby1.com/Scott, that's me. You download a free excerpt, but also our Kelby One Books team. So they have their own they've got their own website and their Facebook following, and they're awesome. And so we have some winners. So our winners are, and these are people that won signed copies of the book: Jody Kite, Jim Smith, and Kathy Gary Aker. So each one of them guessed a question, which was how many total books has the current book team produced? Now, those aren't just my books. We've also produced books for Jay Maisel and
Frank
Dorhoff and David Zeiser and Peterson and Joe McNally. So there's other people. It was 76, and they picked winners. So each one of them gets a signed copy of the book. Congratulations to those fine folks. And here comes our first comment. Jock Goodman says, Scott, come shoot one Pro Bowl and you get all the teams plus a week in Hawaii. So that's one of the great things about the Pro Bowl. That's why everybody wants to be chosen for the Pro Bowl. It is in Hawaii.
I
would love to shoot the Pro Bowl, but you know
what
it is?
Is it always in Hawaii?
Well, they moved it to Arizona one year, and that only lasted 1 year because nobody wanted to go. Anyway, nothing against Arizona except for it ain't Hawaii. Anyway, so I would love to shoot the Pro Bowl, but I can't just call them up and go, hey, I'd like to shoot the Pro Bowl. Can I come? Oh, great, thanks. It just doesn't work like that, but thanks for the good thoughts there, Jock. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Kevin. We're going to look at real quick a little bit of his TEDx talk, and then we're going to talk about protecting our images because you're kind of an authority on this whole thing. And so we'll talk in just a moment. Stick around. RC's for show. Brad's still here. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Scott Kelby, and I'd like to tell you about my brand new book, the Photoshop CC book for digital photographers. This new edition is the biggest revision I have done to the book in years, and it's primarily because the way photographers use Photoshop today is much different than we did even just a few years ago. So I wanted to create a new version that is right on top of how we really use Photoshop CC today. Of course, I cover all the new features released in Photoshop CC, but every Photoshop book's going to do that right. But I feel like my job as the author and as a photographer who uses Photoshop every single day is to really just cut through all that clutter and just straight up tell you which features to use, which ones to ignore. And I feel it's my job to show you the quickest, easiest way to get where you want to be with your Photoshop work as quickly as possible so you can get back to shooting fast. In this new version of the book, I show you all the exact techniques I use every day in my own work. And in fact, in the last chapter of the book, I lay out my entire start to finish workflow from the opening the original file straight out of the camera to delivering the final image. You see all of it every step of the way. I also share all my own settings throughout, including my sharpening settings, how I use Camera Raw, I share all my favorite photographic special effects, and I teach all of this just like I was telling a friend. I leave out all the geeky techno stuff, and I tell you just the same way I would if you and I were sitting there together. I even give you the same downloadable file so you can follow along with me using the same images that you see in the book. I've really worked hard to make this the best, most helpful, most useful version of the book ever. So I hope you'll check out my Photoshop CC book for digital photographers. It's available right now in print and ebook formats wherever really helpful books are sold.
Hey,
So,
sup? Hey, it's me and RC. And
going on?
our special guest in studio, Mr. Kelvin Gilbert. We're talking about protecting your images. And before we do that, just a quick shout out because our very special guest, John Balboni, is in
that's
the
right.
studio.
What's going on, John Balboni?
We just call him J.
He's over there. J-Bon.
J-Bon.
Oh, no, he can't be
No,
J-Bon.
he can't be J-Bon. That's Jennifer Bontempi.
That's right. J-Bon 2.
So we
J-Bon
give him the
too.
J-Bow.
Now, Kevin, I gotta tell you this because this is something that I think is important, right? I like the fact that you're here to talk about backing up the pictures. I think it's a conversation that doesn't happen all that often. But just to kind of put it into context, right? We're talking a lot about not copyright per se, right? So that's a completely separate topic. We're talking about the concept of backing up. I find that a lot of the times what's happening is this thing is a majority of what captures pictures in my life. I mean, not just, the iPhone or Android, anything like that, but like back to like my LG chocolate phone and basic phones. There's all of these different types of moments that are happening there. And it just happened to me recently. I was taking some pictures. I was taking some pictures for a blog post that I wanted to do when I was out in California, and I lost my card. And I lost everything, and I about freaked out because I'm sitting there and I'm like, I lost these pictures. There's a good chunk of what happened. There's something that was very, very important to me that's gone. I have no idea where it is. I have no idea how to be able to do it. And when your phone or this computer device, the thing that you carry in your pocket, is the thing that you shoot a majority of your life with, it was kind of like that terrorizing moment where I'm like, what if I lose everything here? Where is everything that's here? How do you connect with that? I mean, did you lose pictures?
Oh, yeah. Caliber's lost pictures. I mean, it's heartbreaking. I can't tell you how many stories, Kevin, people have come up and they're like in tears. They're like, well, my hard drive crashed. And I'm like, oh, well, just, go to your backup. I don't have a backup. Have you ever had a backup? No. Well, what happens to all those photos?
Yeah, backing up is like flossing. You should do it, but you hardly ever do.
Dude, I floss like a banshee, dude. I floss like...
You must have everything backed up.
Dude, you know what? Every time I go to the dentist, you know what they say? Bang, keep doing what you're doing.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I go to a dentist thing, they're like high-fiving me. Flossy man, what's up?
Yeah.
But RC, you're in that perfect position of your life, your photo life is in chaos because you can't find things you're looking for that it's on this device and it's on that device, it's on that hard drive, it's on that camera phone, the computer, an old DVD, an old computer in the garage, wherever it happens to be. That's your life. That's the portfolio of your life. Not just the portfolio of your best images, your best professional things, or your best images for a talk. This is your life.
And that's the part that I thought was even more interesting.
I'm sorry, I'm flossing.
Flossing.
I'm sorry. Was I flossing on this set? Crud, I shouldn't probably do that.
You
sorry.
carry a floss in your wallet?
Dude, flossing, yeah.
I
got a whole
swear
bag
I
of
did
it in
not
my
set
car.
that up.
Wow.
I swear.
Dude,
That's intense.
I'm serious about flossing.
Okay,
You know
all
what?
right.
Your teeth. Let's talk about your gums. No, go ahead.
Please don't cut to anything here in this area, the part of the grill. No, but what I thought was great about it is and I don't mean this to sound, braggy or anything like that, but I'm very technical. Like I do a lot of technology. I play around with NAS systems and internet systems
He does.
and external drives, and I've got all these different types of systems to be able to do it. And yet still I suffer from problems where I'm like, where is it? How do I get to it? Where does it go? And more importantly, and the point that you touched on is how many of those pictures do you shoot very flippantly, where you're just like, oh, you shoot it, and you forget all of these stories, you forget all of these different moments. And it's one of the things that I think that's really cool about what it is that you do and what you're trying to do, because you're taking a stab at that problem.
Yeah, how backed up do you think you are? Like of all the pictures in your life, I don't mean just the stuff you've taken with DSLR.
Okay.
Your phone pictures you've taken on your iPad. How many? What percentage do you think you're backed up?
A DSLR, I think I'm pretty 100% backed up. those are my jobs.
Right.
My personal moments,
Yeah. Family, everything else.
That is so common with just about anybody you talk to, because a pro has got their own workflow. They use their own software. They have their own backup systems. They've got their external hard drives, and they know better. They know they have to be able to find a picture so that they can sell it, resell it. It's how they make their living. When you're done shooting a professional assignment, or you're a photojournalist, and you go home and you start taking pictures of your kids with your mirrorless camera, your phone, your whatever you're taking your pictures with, you just don't think, oh, I need to organize these tonight. I need to make sure they're on all these devices. I need to make sure they're backed up. You just kind of go, all right, let's go to dinner, and then you don't think about it. But the problem is, that's the stuff that really matters. Are you really going to care about the 900 shots from a fashion shoot? And you've got your best 10. What about those other 980? It doesn't matter.
Right.
Those are there. You can keep them. But the stuff that matters, the pictures that tell a story of your life, that allow you to connect with the past, to allow you to rediscover things, to realize that you've been to Hawaii 5 times in the last 20 years, and put those all together in a story, nobody does that. So that's the kind of thing we're trying to solve with Mylio, is to help you tell that story of your life, and to be able to let your kids tell a story and your grandkids tell a story, and they can see where you guys are at this time of your life, or different vacations, and wow, Dad, I used to like that goatee. I don't like it anymore.
Right.
Those are the kind of things that, when you look back at your life, the moments that happened 10 years ago, 10 days ago, 2 years ago, whatever it happens to be, you look at those images and you kind of marvel at them.
right? And that was another point, if I may, just in that one section was, like Scott, you said, how backed up are you? And well, I've had a couple of moments that have freaked me out, that have got me a little bit more backed up than I used to be.
That's when the whole world starts backing up, when you've had a tragic loss.
Right.
That's when you all of a sudden go, oh my gosh, I just had no idea. But you shouldn't have to go through that. You shouldn't have to have something catastrophic.
But you know what happens more often than your house burning down, or a tornado, or a flood, and this is just awful things that happen to people, and they're always, one of the first things they do is go grab their prints off the wall, frame pictures of grandparents or kids when they're little, school pictures. What happens more often than not? 3 million camera phones were lost or stolen last year. You spill a Diet Coke on your keyboard and fry your hard drive. You have your laptop lifted in an airport. Somebody steals it. Your iPad gets smashed. You drop it in the lake. All these things happen to us every day. And
you drop iPads in the lake?
I kind of use them like skipping stones.
Oh,
I have
okay,
so many of them. But that's what people have, that problem, is that they just lose these moments. And here's a really good example of just kind of where things are today. If you take your family to Hawaii, and you've got your DSLR and your camera phone, and your wife's got an underwater camera and a little, mirrorless Sony NEX or something like that, and the kids have got camera phones, and they're taking pictures, and they're tagging you on Facebook, and they're Instagramming things, and your wife's doing the same thing. She's Instagramming, you're posting pictures to Twitter, whatever it happens to be. You get home, and it's like, let's put together a book. And Dad says, all right, great. I got all my pictures, all my DSLR pictures, these 600 millimeter shots of sunsets. And you kind of go, where's the rest of the story? Oh, it's on Facebook. Oh, they're on Twitter. Oh, they're over here.
They're on Instagram.
And they're on Instagram. And they're on some card that, you've got at the office. And they're on a hard drive at home. And what Mylio does, it gathers all these pictures. It helps you to gather the story of your life all together, so that you can tell that story. So you can put together that album. You can put that slideshow together. And it's all the true moments, not just your perspective's moments of a trip.
Right. And so that's the one thing that even if I were to say the freak out moment scared me into getting technically everything that I have backed up, but the thing that I'm more curious about, and if you can take something away from most of this, the questions that I think that you guys should be asking yourself is, even if I said today, on Monday, I am set, I did all my backups, I did all of this stuff, the part that really resonates with me on this conversation is, how much have I missed as a person by not going back and taking a look at all of these other pictures that sit inside of the past? all these pictures that I posted on Facebook years ago.
Years ago, yeah.
All these pictures that I have on these drives that have they've been backed up. They sit in all these other different places, but I don't have access to them anymore. I don't look at them. I don't talk about them. I don't connect with them.
Right. It's
And
what's in front of you.
What do you do? Like, what do you do when you want to be able to take a look at that
Hey
story?
guys, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we got tons of questions pouring in here, and there's questions that are about Mylio, and we really even talked about Mylio.
Right.
So I know I mentioned on Facebook today we were going to be mentioning Mylio. So we know that we have a terrible problem with backing up. We know
Right.
that as a society that most of us don't do it. You mentioned the pros do it to some extent for the professional photos, but then I talk to pros and know people that maybe they're all the family photos and the thousands and thousands of photos that we have taken, like on our phones, aren't backed up, and it's to lose those would be almost more tragic than losing your other stuff. It's
Yes.
the visual history of your life.
Yes.
So I don't want to go much further without even just mentioning, because all these questions are like, what will Mylio do this? And I used Mylio, and I'm like, we haven't even mentioned it. So what is Mylio? All right, so this is a product that launched it at Photo Plus East, but we've been working with you guys a while, and I remember when you guys came here and they showed me a video, and the video really was wonderfully well. I wish we had it to show today, but it was a kind of the concept video.
Right.
And it was really about, number one, it was really about two things. Number one was finally getting you really backed up. Really, really, like all your photos. And when you think of the term all your photos. And what does that mean? We're talking a lot about a segment of our photos, our DSLR photos, our professional shots and all, but we're not really talking about all our photos. That's why when I asked you, are all your photos, you're like, and
There's a bunch of asterisks.
Yeah,
It's like,
and I would
well.
say that I was very poorly backed up until recently. I thought I was really well backed up because my DSLR images and a folder called Pictures was on my backup. But so Mylio was about that. But it's more than that. The other part, I think, a big part of the Mylio story is giving you access to them everywhere. All of your photos, all of them everywhere. And I think that's where it gets really, really unique in that, because I mean, it's a backup device by itself is not tremendously sexy. It's important, it's good, it's like flossing. But if you said, if you floss, and this is for Brad, then you get a hot girl, I think more guys would floss.
Wow.
Brad.
It just got cold all the way over there.
Come on. I never see Brad flossing.
Well, I would hope not. You're not in my apartment in the morning or at
Or
night.
am I? Anyway, it's really a small camera. Anyway, but so that's where I thought it really gets sexy when you add this. Okay, now everywhere I go, and it's the technology behind this that allows you, because you think, oh, I got gigs and gigs and gigs. I got terabytes of stuff. How am I ever going to get that on my? How am I ever going to have access to on my phone? How am I going to get that on my iPad and all? And that's where the crazy technology comes in. So I'll let you tell it, but that's what got me into this. Now, there's way more to Mylio than what I just said.
Right.
But those are the two things that I remember watching that video, and we're all looking at each other. We're all on a conference table. We're like, oh, this is.
I think your comment was, you had me at protection.
Yeah.
As soon as we started talking about protection, you were sold. And if you look at Mylio now, and we'll be, go to mylio.com, you can download it, and there's a free trial. You can just try it. Anybody can try it. It's a limited trial, but our CEO, David Baskovich, decided that there was a photo chaos, that our lives were a photo mess. And he's an avid shooter, travels all around the world.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible pictures from all over the country and the world. And he said, I've got terabytes of data, and I'll do a shoot and I'll want to show a dinner guest pictures on my iPad, and I can't figure out how to get the pictures there. Or I'll be someplace with my phone. So he said, let's get together some engineers, some photographers and designers. Let's put this program together. And as of a couple of days ago, he was very proud to show me 480,000 photographs on his iPhone. All searchable.
480,000. Full. You can see them full screen. They're not little tiny thumbnails.
They are thumbnails, but they're optimized for the screen.
They're thumbnails, but they're optimized for the screen.
And they are,
Well, what I meant was they're not little tiny squares.
No. No,
They're-
and you can star rate them, you can flag them, you can crop them, and when you do that on your phone, sitting in the dentist office, we'll keep the analogy going. You're sitting in the dentist office, you can actually be rating a shoot of raw files that you just ingested into your laptop a couple hours earlier, because they're now on your phone. So you can do things that are so simple like that, that gives you back your time, gives you the ability to have your pictures anywhere all the time. I just carry around just a random 120,000 photographs in my laptop, in my iPad, and my iPhone, because you'll say, hey, where do you want to go someplace, and I'll say, Scott, what's the place you want to go to the most?
I want to go to Morocco.
Right, you want to go to Morocco, so I can pull up on my phone, on my iPad or my laptop. I can do a quick search of my 120,000 pictures and see if my Morocco pictures. You want to see?
Yeah.
See if it goes? All right, so I'm just going on my main screen here.
No, it's doing the searches that it's doing here are doing them against metadata, keywords that you're putting in.
Keywords, date, time stamps, things that you've done. And if you're a professional, if you're somebody who's grown up with Photoshop and Lightroom and Aperture and all these things, we've at least tried to do some of these things the right way. When you start adding in camera data, date and times, you start adding in camera phones, Facebook check-ins, Facebook places, all of a sudden data starts pouring into Mylio, which allows you to create. You can find and search by locations and people and other things like that. But you have to go through it a little bit.
I think we have to connect you to, we dropped off the control room. So if you go under your, that right there, and then look for control room. Is he on control room 2?
Right. So that was
please.
that was just a comment for Sean King, who had said, can I search for keywords in Mylio? So basically, you're doing a search. You can search amongst things, keywords.
Really simple. This is the Mylio interface. It's all based on folders. It's a visual representation of the your operating system in both Windows and Macs. We are Windows based. We are Mac based. iPhone, iPads, and coming soon Android and Android tablets, which will be pretty amazing to be able to control your laptop from your Android phone, which will change your PC, which will change your Mac, and as these changes happen, they just change. So we can certainly go back and just look at this really quickly, and this just happens to be a bunch of folders that I like. One of the really cool things, everything is optimized for touch, so I can just go and look at folders at any time this is kind of the portfolio of my life, right? Oh, there's our friend Bill and Hillary, and little bush, shrub. But these folders, I can, at any time, I can just flip through these, which is really a fun way to look at pictures. I don't have to go in and look at file folders anymore. I can just go in and take a picture and look and say, that's the one I want as the cover, and I can pick it and just go pin it, and that's now the cover photo in that folder. So we want to find Morocco, right? So all I do is go up to quick search, and I'm going to type in the word Morocco. So these are all the Morocco pictures that happen to be in that 116,000. You want to go there, Scott?
Dude, I want to go there bad.
You want to go out in the sand dunes and be just two little specks on the horizon?
I want to be two little specks.
You want to ride camels?
No.
I want to ride camels.
David Vaskovich, our founder, was on a trip with me. This is all Marrakesh. This is one of my favorite places in the world to go. And these pictures are on all my devices. If I go and look for these on my iPad or my phone, I can show you the exact same photographs on my phone at any time and anywhere. And now, granted, do I want to really carry around 500,000 pictures? David's testing the system because we're new. We're only been out a couple of weeks. I look at it that, take your best. Make a football folder. Take a best ofs, right? You might fill up 20,000 images if you're lucky, and then add your family in, and you're at 100,000 pictures. Mm-hmm. I basically can put all the pictures of my kids, whether they've been scanned, my wife, my new daughter, all these pictures, I can put them in and have every vacation, every important picture to me that's important to my life is with me all the time.
But this isn't sucking them down for the cloud. It's not like sucking them down. Those 120,000 images are on your iPad.
Yes. One of the key principles of Mylio is privacy and security. We believe we don't want to give the NSA a leg up on looking at your pictures, right? Listen, we know we have to use the cloud. We use the cloud as kind of a highway. We don't store any pictures in the cloud. We're all about local. So a local computer, a local backup, another computer that you have, an older one or an office computer, so that we can put your pictures in 3 locations, in 3 different devices in 2 locations, so that this entire catalog that you have lives here, it lives in this device, it lives in this device, it lives on everything.
That's a huge phone.
Yeah, it's that iPhone 6 Plus. But that's why I can put that many pictures on it. It's a big phone.
Okay, so that's the it's everywhere part. And I think the technology that allows you to see them full size on an iPad and you have 120,000 photos on there is just unbelievable, because you'd think, well, you would fit on nobody's, right? Because it would be so large, you wouldn't get through 5,000 photos on there. Once you get to 5,000 photos regular on an iPad, you're starting to go, I can't rent a movie.
So this is what we do. No matter what you shoot, if you shoot a RAW file and it's say 40 or 50 megabytes, that original stays on hard drives and stays on computer levels.
Right.
But when you say, I need to put this on an iPad because you've added this device, every file is kind of spun down to a 1 megabyte DNG file that's completely editable. You can look at it, it's incredible, the detail's incredible. You can rate, you can crop, you can go in and change clarity and contrast and look at the histogram and see, flashing highlights and everything, all right there in the product. When you add a phone to it, it says, okay, we're gonna scale these down to little, I think it's 340 by 260 thumbnails that have some really nice resolution, and you can still do a number of editing features on your phone. You can't pixel edit. You can't go in and start, changing a whole, we don't want you to. Right? You don't want to change it here and it's changing on your RAW file back at home. But we give you the ability to crop and rate and add, create albums and just kind of do some basic picture editing, not pixel editing at the phone level. So that's how 100,000 RAW files, I can put almost 100,000 DNG versions of the RAW files on my phone.
All right, now, that's the it's everywhere part, which I love, by the way, because you know what? We're storytellers. We're all storytellers. And it's so cool. Like if RC and I are at dinner, my whole life has been this, like, and RC, I went and there was this one shot. Yeah, I don't have it. Now I do, because I have Mylio on all my devices. But you're telling stories and you're like, yeah, I don't have it. Dude, how much of our life has been like, oh, I wish I had that photo. Let me see if I can get an internet connection. You don't even need an internet connection. It's already on your phone.
Yeah, I'm already busting all the rules. I kind of say, no phones at the dinner table or when you're out on a client meeting or something like that. And invariably, I always have to pull out my phone when somebody says, where's your favorite places to go? And I'm like, oh, New Zealand or here. And I just go, oh, you want to see? And I just pull it up because I know my New Zealand pictures or my Morocco pictures or my Vietnam pictures or something. Those are with me. I just know they're there. And it's like, here, you want to see? And people start scrolling through going, oh my gosh, I want to go there with you.
Now, when you were in Vietnam, right? So you're going through the rice paddies, right? And you got the camo on your helmet. Like, what was it like?
Not quite like that.
Oh, okay.
They love Americans in Vietnam. It's one of the friendliest countries I've ever been to.
Yeah?
Because I was talking to a government official at one point, one of my first trips there, and he said, we love the American people. It's just the American government we didn't like.
That seems to be popular. Okay.
Bunch of comments that are
let's get to some of these comments. But the next thing, I just want to put a pin in this for a second, because we've talked about that your photos are everywhere and the technology that lets you get them there. We haven't talked about the backing up part. So let's talk about that in a minute. But let's get to some of these questions. Jordan Ayan, am I saying that right? I had 3 6 terabyte drives, spent hours making sure that everything was duplicated. Then I started testing Mylio 3 months ago. It forever changes the way you protect, store, and share your images. If you do nothing else, download the trial version.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan. Now, so Oliver Kremer, I think, is setting you up here. How do you determine what fits the need in the millions of solutions out there? There are a ton of solutions out there, but I think they're all kind of like, one is for backup and one is for sorting and one is for editing, and there's a lot of different solutions out there.
This is a very simple solution for people that want to just control their memories, to think about their memories. And if you really look at what we do, yes, photography is our DNA, but at the same time, memories are everybody's DNA. And we want to be able to be a memory company, not a photo company. Are we a Lightroom competitor? Everybody asks that. And it's like, no, we work nicely with Lightroom. I'm a Photoshop guy. Back since your early days.
Since the early days.
Since the early days, I've been a Photoshop guy since 1.0. I mean, I love Photoshop. Are we Dropbox? No, we're different from Dropbox. Are we Evernote? Are we, Picasa? Are we, everybody's got their own way and their own kind of workflow. And we freely admit that if you put 100 photographers in a room, there's 100 different ways of backing up, of creating, a workflow.
Yeah, but you just named a bunch of really slow. Like if I asked Brad to transfer some photos to me on Dropbox, Dropbox was never designed for viewing photos, really. I mean, can you see them there? Yeah, but it's so slow. That's one of the things that's so amazing. The speed of Mylio is what blows everybody away. At the launch, you gave a demo, and I was in the audience. I mean, I spoke as part of the keynote, but I was watching a lot. And you gave a demo where you would you would change a photo. Can you do it? Can you do it here?
Sure, if I'm still up.
All right.
You want to see the speed demo?
Yeah, can we do that real quick? Speed demo is insane.
So just so you guys realize, we are built on a gaming engine, on a 3D gaming engine, because our engineers were the guys that did Connect and perfected it and did all these kind of things. So we're GPU based. So we're just a screaming fast. We're the only one that's GPU based. Everybody else kind of just, it's the turtle and the hare kind of thing. We know we're the hare right now, and everybody's going to try to catch up to us. But one of our engineers said, you know what, I need to test it. And he decided he needed over 1 million images. So he took a couple of public domain movies, wrote an algorithm, and broke down these movies into 24 JPEGs per second, right?
For an entire movie?
For like 7 movies. And
how many frames does that create?
Well over 1 million.
Wow.
Millions and millions of it. So, and he's running, just showing the speed that we can blow through it. So they gave me, here's Fred Astaire dancing. And this is just from a movie. And I can go through it, frame by frame by frame, which is what everybody does. But if you really want to see how fast we are, all I'm going to do is hold down the right arrow key. And so we're reading easily 24 frames per second. As you can see, there's Fred dancing off the wall. There he goes.
Look at that. It looks like you're just watching a movie, but we're just looking at JPEGs.
We're just looking at JPEGs.
That's amazing.
So I can make him go backwards. So if you're you switch out to any other thing, like any other folder where you might have, here's a shoot we did with my daughter the other night. You want to look at pictures.
Aww.
You can start going through them super fast. These are all high-res images. These are not little thumbnails I'm blowing through. And you pop and get one that's actually in focus. There we go. It's right there. And all you want to do, if you're one of us, you want to go in and edit. You can see we have full editing controls. You want to see, I need to export it. I can share it with Facebook. I can email it. I can do all those other things. It's a really simple thing. You go to share, boom, pull it up, email. We do these really cool things where we'll actually allow you to strip out data so that if you want to post things and get rid of location data or any of that stuff, you can do that when you send it.
Right.
It's pretty amazing. And if people say, what is this all about? Well, if you look over here on the right-hand side, this is what the guts are. This is our syncing panel. And right now it's showing me that I have 2 full copies, 2 backed up copies of 116,000 photographs in my system.
So it's saying that you have originals and then you
sets.
have a backup. 2 sets.
2 sets of originals. Because look, I've got a drive here showing me the devices that are synced. I've got a Windows machine at the office that's waiting for me to get back to sync up a bunch of photographs, this 116,000 photographs, so that I'll have 3 in 2 locations. And this just happens automatically. Whether I plug in a 2 terabyte drive or a NAS device or whatever, they just become other devices within the Mylio world, your personal world that nobody has access to except you. And that device then just automatically, when you bring it into one machine, it populates your phone, your tablet, your home computer, your office computer. It goes to your external drive. It goes to your NAS. It goes everywhere, and they're all identical. The only thing difference is the sizes. Originals at one level, 1 meg DNGs.
Right, and that's what I was going to say. Appropriate
That's
sizes for the appropriate.
Right. All with the same capabilities, and they all look the same. So a Windows machine will look just like an Android machine, just looks like a Mac. So you only have to learn it once. No trying different things.
All right. So Sean King, I have 3.5 terabytes of data. Would I be able to copy that much data to Mylio?
If you've got other storage devices, want to have 3 terabytes and you need to have an external source. I mean, there's no laptop with well, it's big iMacs with.
Right, yeah, but not.
But yeah, so, you have to have enough storage. What we're saying is we're not going to magically just create places where your pictures are stored. If you tried to put 3 terabytes in the cloud, forget about it. You might as well just,
But you have a cloud-based option, but this isn't a cloud thing.
No, the cloud for us is a highway. It's a slingshot, in effect. So that we do have an advanced feature in our Pro version where you can be in a foreign country and shooting, and the internet relays images that you've selected so that you can say, I don't need to send 100 RAW files back. Let me just send 10 RAW files back to my iPad at the office. Well, because it's an iPad, it'll shrink them down to the 1 meg size and sync only 10 1 meg files. So they're gone almost instantly. And your person in your studio sitting there going, wow, these are really great, and can change them. And it'll change on your machine, and you can rate back and forth, and you can do things and act collaboratively amongst you and your team.
All right, let's see. Kyleg asks, I back up as much as I can. Biggest issue is cost. Hard drives have gotten cheaper, but they're still not that cheap. Do you have any recommendations for backing up on a budget?
Go grab a Western Digital or Seagate drive.
Yeah, they actually are really. I mean,
you go to Costco and there's like a 2 terabyte drive for $79.
Yeah, $79. So here's the thing: are all your images worth $79? Knowing that they're backed up, all in one place, $79. Hey, we're gonna take a short break. We've got lots of stuff coming in, but RC wants to tell you so badly about Cyber Weekend. How badly do you want to tell them?
Very, very badly. It's around the corner. You guys are going to get a special sneak peek at all the great offers that you have over at kelby1.com/cyberweekend. Make sure that you go there, guys. There's going to be some great deals. You want to get a 5-day head start to get in on.
Do you know how many thousands of people have signed up to get their early access on these deals? It's thousands and thousands. They told me, and I was like, really? That's a lot of people. So, yeah.
And make sure you guys go over. That was the URL again. We might want to bring that up again just so that people can see it.
Yeah, if we bring up the URL because we have a lot of amazing deals. That's like our big deal of the year.
So kelby1.com.
And so we give you early access, right?
Yep. And just sign up now. You're going to see a lot of different things. Just register right at that one URL.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, RC will be here. Brad will have flossed and shaved while we're gone. Maybe we can get a little bit of that on tape. I want to show you a little bit of the TEDx talk that you did earlier, just a snippet of it, because I want you guys to watch that, because your talk at TEDx I thought was just terrific. I shared it on Facebook and on G+ and on Twitter, and people just loved it. We have lots more questions coming in, so don't go away. We'll be right back. We're live here on The Grid talking about backing up your stuff, protecting it.
Create a better website at squarespace.com. Start your free trial today.
Need a little boost? Then fill up on fuel. Packed with practical tools and tips that will help you quickly advance your creative skills, these short ebooks get right to the heart of what you need to learn. Learn to shoot breathtaking nature photography, teach yourself game design, or impress your friends with the rockin' design of your new website. Written by top authors and trainers, FuelBooks offers friendly, straightforward instruction and innovative ideas to power your creativity. Starting at just $5, every FuelBook comes in 3 formats: Mobi, EPUB, and an elegantly laid out PDF, so you can choose the reading experience that works best for you on whatever device you choose. FuelBooks, designed to inspire you.
Hey, we're back. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys Scott or C.
Kevin. Now, while you're doing that real quick, I'll just go ahead and do, because I want to, there's a couple of different things that I think, like Pete and Jason have a couple questions that we can answer. Jason, can't you do this with Lightroom Mobile now?
You can do a lot of it with Lightroom Mobile, but you have to be connected to the internet. We do not have to be connected to the internet. We actually created inside of Mylio, if you're in a place where there's no internet or it's super slow or you're out in Moab waiting to shoot stars, we created our own internal ad hoc network and we connect all your devices. We're about local Wi-Fi, we're not about cloud.
Right. So in this case, it's something that if you wanted to put it on your phone, you want to put it on your computer, you want to put all of that stuff would go to your computer, and then at that point you would just sync it. It would automatically sync.
We do not sync
without
them.
the internet.
We do not put pictures on the cloud. We can't see your pictures, and neither can the cloud.
Aha. What's the cost of Mylio?
Cost of Mylio, there's 3 prices, $50 a year, $100 a year, and $250 a year. It's broken down into how many pictures, devices, and some editing features. Like you don't get RAW in the lower end product. But there are going to be so many people that are going to say that $50 product, 50,000 pictures, 3 devices. That is sweet. That's every person you know, your mom, your neighbor, your wife, your husband, whatever it happens to be. They're going to love that. And then as you get higher and higher in the prices, you get extra features, and that's when you're talking RAW and histograms and all this other kind of stuff.
Something we didn't talk about was one of the things that's unique about Mylio is you can have like a Microsoft Surface tablet, you can have a Windows desktop, and you can have an iPhone. And it works across all of them. It's not one of those things where, like everything has to be. If you don't have all Apple devices, you're hosed. You can have some really disparate stuff.
And that's wonderful. If you're an Apple person, which I have been my whole life, God love you. It's just perfect for you. If you're a Windows person and you got Windows Phone, and you got Windows Desktop, that's great. But now you add in.
Nobody has Windows Phone.
Yeah, we love the Windows guys.
No, I said Windows Phone.
Oh, Windows Phone. Yeah, but I know the product manager. He's a good dude.
Oh, okay.
But realize that when
the Windows Phone.
realize that when we add Android in,
oh, yeah, I have a Lumia 1020.
You use it Windows Phone? Is that what
no?
you
Because
I call you all the time. What do you use? Oh, it's an iPhone. Oh, okay. Sorry. Let's move on.
But anyway, once you add in Android with Windows and all the Apple products, and they all speak to each other, nobody does that.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, John A. asks, is this true for the whole world or just the U.S.?
Right now, it's just the U.S., but we will be going international in 2015. Okay. And there are so many features coming in 2015. If you love this, just wait.
All right. Let's see. So Leon says, Mylio is storing your photos someplace that you get access to them. They have to be saved on a Mylio server. No.
There are no Mylio servers.
There are no Mylio servers.
If they're not stored someplace else, then they're not safely backed up. But they start in your computer.
They start in your computer.
And you put them in another, if you like, and again, this is power user just talking about this, right? So if I were using a computer, first off, I wouldn't store them on my computer. I would store them on a NAS drive. So that's where they would be backed up because that NAS drive would have redundancy and that would set that up. So I would use Mylio connected to my NAS drive. That would give me my redundancies here. Then Mylio then sends copies to my computer that I can see appropriately sized. Then it sends copies to the phone that are appropriately sized. So it's not dealing with your storage solution. Your storage solution is your storage solution.
Yeah, and it's not going to a Mylio server.
There's no Mylio server. And the question we get asked all the time is, are you going to be like one of those other startups that just goes away and all of a sudden you've had all my pictures and now they're lost, the metadata is all gone, you've stripped it away? No, we are not going to be like that.
You don't have their photos.
We don't have their photos. All your photos, every 116,000 photographs are on my phone, physically on my phone.
Right.
They may not be the original size, but they are phone specific. And my tablet, same thing, 116,000 photos. So if we go away, or you decide not to subscribe anymore, you still get all your pictures on all your devices, on backup hard drives, on your NAS, anywhere they happen to be.
Right.
They're still there.
This is sharing and having access to all of those pictures, but all of the storage components are things that you're taking care of yourself.
You set this up once. You figure out your system, what devices you have, how many pictures you have. We'll automatically size them for your tablet. We'll automatically size them. You don't have to think about it. You just say, put my pictures there. Done. Put my pictures on this hard drive. Put my pictures there. And it's done every time you bring in pictures.
And also, this thing will go to your Facebook page and suck all those photos down. It'll go if you ask it to. It'll go to iPhoto and take all your photos out of iPhoto. You know, people are always worried about once their photos are in iPhoto, like they're never seen again, like they get sucked into this black hole. So it'll do that. It's
all about gathering pictures because in today's world, your pictures are everywhere. And when you say, you know what? My wife, she just brought in her Facebook pages on her albums and her camera phone. It was like 15,000 pictures together. And I was like, wow, this is so super organized because that's what she'd done in Facebook. But what I loved about it was I can go in and look, and there's a folder that says photos of you, pictures I've been tagged in by other people. I never go into Facebook and go, oh, let's see if anybody's tagged me this year. But all of a sudden, I was finding pictures. I was
does
seeing
that
things.
all the time.
You're never gonna make attractive man of the year if you don't do it.
That's right. That's how people make their choice. All right. Hey, you got to go to the airport here shortly, so I want to get a bunch of quick questions in if we can. So Tom asks, is the editing non-destructive?
All non-destructive. You can change your pictures on any device and revert back to the original from any device, anytime.
Kick butt. John Nope asks, can you do captioning? I see Photo Mechanic in that.
Photo Mechanic, great product. One of my favorites.
Excuse me.
Probably
Mine too. Sorry.
best favorite product ever in the photo world.
Yeah.
With Mylio, on ingest, you can do renaming just like you can do on a Windows machine, just like you can do an iPhoto. You can do all those things. So we have all that basic capability to do customized naming and all that stuff on the way in.
All right. So,
Lee Calkins, can you pick, reject, and rate?
Okay.
And will that carry over to Lightroom?
Yes, we have Lightroom interoperability. We are certainly not as robust as Lightroom is. They have selective editing and gradients and all the brushes and things. Mm-hmm. We're just a global editor that you'd find in a lot of different things. But we put some things in there that are really, for most people, is just fine.
Oh, Cheryl's got a good one.
I like Cheryl's.
Yeah, what happens if all of your devices are all in the same location? If we get hit with a hurricane and all is gone, or does Mylio save somewhere else as well?
Well, that's really up to you. What we believe is we will help you set up a system where your pictures are on 3 different devices, 3 different drives in 2 locations. Now, we can't make you take a drive and stick it at your mom's house or keep it at the office or someplace else. But we know that if you do a 3-2 protection system, that no matter what happens, there's still some redundancy, and that portfolio of your life is still there for you to pass along to your kids.
Right, and this brings just a quick power user section here that we were talking about, because somebody said, well, you in the workflow that you just explained, Synology, computer, this, that, and the other, then you exactly just have one original copy. That's true, but what they're offering here is the system of connectivity. What resources you decide to put into those systems is entirely up to you. So if you have a computer with a NAS, that's the appropriately sized NAS. If you choose to use a second computer with another hard drive, then you're going to get those big files on the second unit at a second location.
Right. And all these removable drives, USB drives, NAS devices, those do not count against your count of devices. So that you can have, if you have one of the plans for like 12 devices, you can have different, half a dozen phones and tablets on it, and it'll just be automatically organizing them, automatically sizing them, backing them up, putting them in the right place with you all the time. I mean, it's
okay. If you want to fly to Seattle tonight, you will have to answer these questions much more concisely.
Okay.
All right. So Giarnal asks, where are the masters or raw files kept, and how are they backed up?
They're where you put them, wherever you ingest them in.
Right. See, I think there's kind of a disconnect where I think people are thinking that these images are getting sucked into your iPad and they're getting moved. I think that they feel like they're moving these, but they're not really moving them.
No, we actually take every image and make a copy of it, but in the appropriate size for the appropriate device.
Right.
At the level of hard drives and computers, it's just a straight, you've got 100 gigs, it'll make 100 gigs here and 100 gigs
Right.
there.
So if you have your RAWs in a drive at your house, all of your raw images are there. You'll have the images on your phone, on your iPad, on there, but you won't actually, they're not the RAWs. You're not taking the RAWs and sticking them there and removing them from someplace else.
Correct.
They're still at your house. But wherever you go, which is everybody's mobile everything anymore, all of that stuff is with you, on your laptop, on your iPad. Hey, we haven't done the speed test. Can we do the speed test?
Again?
Can we-
did.
no, we
Fred
did.
Fred Astaire dancing.
Oh, no, I thought you were going to do one like where you update on one device and it goes to the other device and the other device.
If we can get all 3, I can do it real quickly.
Yeah, we have to make sure that our crew here can see all 3. Arnaldo looks and he says, you need to reconnect
Which
your
one?
laptop to control room 2.
Control room 2. Okay, so if you can see all 3, this is just at top level. These are folder level, so I can just go in and at any point I can pick a picture, I can flip through a picture. All I do is I pin it, and it changes there, changes there, changes there. Boom, boom, boom.
Wow.
That happens all the time. So when you
Oh,
make
look, they got all three on screen at once.
yeah,
They're
that's my
very clever.
desktop right there and my iPad right there. I just brought it up bigger. Everything's the same on my phone. They're all right over there. Anything I do, any change I make, any
That was
crop,
fast.
edit.
Can we do it one more time? That was super fast. I didn't. When I looked at the screen, I didn't realize you had all three devices on the screen at one time.
Okay, so
I didn't realize we were that good.
Let's just
that we could do that. That's
let's
new
just pick,
technology.
Let's just pick a picture. So I'm going to pick this picture from the LA Zoo where I was teaching last
That's
weekend.
pronounced Le Zoo.
La Zoo. It's very French. So I can change it to that guy there and pin it and just go boom. Just go boom, boom, boom. See how it changes on all of them that
Wow,
fast?
that's
so
fast.
if I do happen to go into the folders where I can see all the original pictures, I can just go and make a change and I can say, you know what, let's make that one right there. Let's set that as our cover shot. We go right back out here to the zoo, LA Zoo.
Le Zoo.
LA Zoo. Did I go by LA Zoo? Here it is. I say that one, set it there. And now on all devices, those are all changed.
So if you crop it, it goes through. If whatever you do to it, it's going to immediately
If I want
be
to
updated everywhere.
I want to crop it and I can do a very bad crop.
That's a bad crop.
That's a bad crop. That's an RC crop. Let's see if that will work.
Whoa!
Whoa!
What is that?
Rough.
I don't know. But, of course, you can always go onto your phone.
So now you can pick up a different device and
I can pick
undo
up a
it?
different device and just go back and just reset that photo. So I go back in there. I got to get to it quickly because I don't want to miss my airplane tonight.
Oh yeah, you got to look at the last comment that just came in. Aw. This is going to make you leave the show like right now.
There's that picture right there. I can go into the edit panel on my device here. See the little red dot there, reset all edits. Boom, boom, boom. Changes them all back.
Wow.
Nice.
All right, read the last one there. You can read it aloud there.
From my wife, please don't miss your flight, Daddy. I miss you. From my daughter, Viola.
Oh.
So I guess they're watching. Hey, love you, honey.
Now, I think that this kind of scratches the surface of what people are trying to do with Mylio. And there's a lot of questions that talk about this. It really is a backup strategy that you can choose to deploy how you see fit. And I think that looking at all these different types of questions, people kind of need to see more information about this, about how it can fit into the workflow, how much redundancy you want, how much do you want to have across all of your devices. If people wanted to get more of this kind of information, where could we send them to?
You go to Mylio.com, MYLIO, mylifeisorganized.com.
Okay.
Great support staff. You can sign up for a free trial if you want. Just try it out. There's a lot of great videos, including some Kelby One videos that our good friend Matt did. We've got a lot of good information there for you. But this is, we've been out for 2.5 weeks. So I will be back. I will come back as many times as we can to help people, because that's what this is all about, is helping you preserve your memories, to tell a story of your life, and being able to show your pictures anytime.
All right, now I'm going to pause right here. You have to go to, we're going to take a break. I have
There's one quick thing.
oh, yeah, okay. Go.
So if you go to mylio.com/found, we are going to give away 3 copies of Mylio, the $100 one-year subscription. So I'll give away 3 of these, but you have to send in a found picture. Go find a picture from a long time ago, not an old scan picture, but just a picture that's important to you that you had forgotten about. Write up a paragraph, email it in to marketing@mylio.com, and you can hopefully win.
You register to win.
And we will publish the 3 best.
Oh,
And we'll
cool.
share them with you guys.
Nice.
Great,
And this
yeah.
is something that we want to do. I remember Peter Hurley here a couple weeks ago saying all of these, things he wants to do, these movements. We want to do something where we can talk about people's memories and finding pictures anywhere they are.
All right, so I want to show you guys something really cool after the break. Unfortunately, Kevin will be gone, but when we come back, I just got to show you this. Really, it's somebody. I did a tutorial, and somebody sent me their shots of doing it, and it's just so cool. So I want to show you those. We're going to have the giveaways. Brad's going to say something. Brad's been kind of quiet this show because we've been so busy. It's just been so many.
It's been a busy show.
It's been a busy
lots of
show.
good stuff in the comments, lots of questions.
But
lots
Brad,
of
I got to tell you, you're so
curiosity.
well lit. I mean, the lighting on you is sublime.
Dashing.
I love getting lit.
What?
Would you?
What?
He loves
That's
getting lit.
Time for break.
Time for a break. That's time for a break.
Come out to Washington State. You'll be just
Okay,
fine.
pull this up.
Hey,
pull
Kevin,
this-
thank you very much for being on the
Okay.
show. That was
see you
really.
again.
We could go on and on and on, but you have to get to the airport. I'm actually teaching a class tonight in Sarasota, Florida. So I've got to get there because I'm supposed to be on at 7, and I don't know how I'm going to make it. But yes, Sarasota, Florida. I'll be there tonight. So Sarasota, let's party. And then I want to show you this after the break and show you where to win copies of the book today. And don't go away. We'll be right back. Kevin, thank you. You're awesome. And
Honey, see you
congratulations.
soon.
Congratulations on the launch of Mylio.
Thank you very much.
Crushed it. We'll see you guys. Don't go away.
Thanks.
Cool stuff coming in 1 minute, 2 minutes.
We all know the difference a great teacher makes. They inspire you, challenge you, and push you to do the things you never thought you could. For creatives, that means you've got to know your tools inside and out, whether it's Photoshop or photography, lighting or Lightroom, InDesign or After Effects. And while there are free videos out there, you have to watch 30 bad ones just to find a decent one. And a lot of times, the techniques are either outdated, complicated, or just plain wrong. What we need is a better way to learn. One that connects amazing teachers with creative people all over the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A thriving educational community with nothing but the most talented, engaging, and respected teachers in the industry. Then we simplify the whole learning process with short, clear, concise classes. That's exactly what we've created for you right here at Kelby One.
Oh, I can't. Okay. Hi. Hey, we're back. All right. So I just wanted to share this because I thought this was so cool. So on November 12th, we have this blog that we've launched, but we haven't officially launched it yet.
Right.
But
Soft launched.
We've soft launched it. It's called the Kelby One blog, and so we've been all doing content for it. And connect. Oh, you don't really need to see it. Oh, I guess you could see it. I don't really. Hold on. I didn't really need to show it, but.
Yeah, may as well, right?
Yeah. Okay. So this is the Kelby One blog. I did this. I did a blog post and a video, and it's a very short video. I don't know how long it is, but it's not very long at all. On how to mount a camera on a monopod with a fisheye or wide angle lens.
Right.
I showed the whole process. It's actually incredibly easy. And so, and I said, you could do this with sports and stuff. I do it a lot. And actually, I think if you scroll down here, here's a picture of me actually using it. And do we actually show the final picture? No. So, but you see, this is what it is. You're holding a monopod, you have a camera on the end of it, and you fire it, and it gives you these really cool shots. So a school teacher, and I think he's in Germany. I can't swear, but I'm going to get his name for you here in 1 second. Actually took a couple of shots using the same exact technique, did it in the classroom, and the shots were so cool that I wanted to share them with you because he was like, hey, I watched your tutorial, and it was as easy as you said it was, and look at this. Look at these right here.
Oh, that's cool.
How cool is that? And look at the whole classroom, right? And that's using, and look how high it looks, right, with the monopod.
That's neat.
And I want to get his name, but I don't have the printout here.
And you know what? This while you do that, is this a printout? Here, you want this?
Oh, there it is.
Okay, so while you do that, that's one of the things that I think is really good about what happens on the Kelby One blog. Guys, go to kelby1.com/blog. Take a look at this. A lot of the times, what happens with this is when you look at tutorials like this, you have to kind of go out and go past what it is on sports. Like if you're not a sports shooter, that still means that it's great information.
Yeah, the first person that saw it said, I'm going to use this in weddings.
And
that was the very first
something.
thing. Very first person that watched it, texted me back or on social media, said, I'm going to use this at weddings. This is perfect for the formals. But his name is Konstantin Articus. So, and
awesome.
I'm not sure what country he's in. I think it's Germany, but I could be wrong. It could be, what is .de?
Germany.
Is that Deutschland?
Deutschland.
Okay, all right. So he's somewhere in Germany. But anyway, I asked him if it was okay if I showed those pictures, and he was nice enough to let me show those.
That's very cool.
But I saw that today, and I was like, yeah, that's it. That's taking the technique and thinking, wait, he showed it how to use for sports, but I can take this and do
Make it your own.
weddings, or in this case, the classroom. And I was like, that's just, I was just so happy I had to share that with you guys.
Awesome. Now,
all right. RC, go. Yeah.
Okay, look, we got a couple other new classes on Kelby One. There's 2 classes by our very own Pete Collins. Both are in the Photoshop In-Depth series. One of them is talking about cropping and resolution, and the other new class that we're talking about is lighting effects. Right. So if you want to be able to know how to use Photoshop's lighting effects on your pictures, just go and take a look at this. Go get a preview of all of this stuff at kelby1.com.
Right. Yeah.
Huh? It's pretty good. I mean,
No,
Pete's knocking it out.
Pete's good. Pete is crushing it. Yeah, dude, he's got it down. And you know what? That whole thing about cropping and resolution, there are more questions. We could do a show on cropping. Well, he did a whole class on it, but that's because there's so many questions about resolution, about cropping. Hey, we also have a Cyber Monday special broadcast. So on December 1st, which is the official Cyber Monday, I won't be here. Brad, where are we on December 1st, Brad?
Lauderdale, Florida.
Oh, wow.
We're in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, teaching. What are we teaching, Brad?
Shoot like a pro.
Shoot like a pro. And will you be there?
Yes, I will.
What about your beard?
Yes.
I tell you what, Brad on actual show day,
Right.
he's stunning. It really, he looks, I mean, he's coiffed. He's like, he wears a tux often. It's very, very nice. Anyway, so on December 1st, we're going to be doing a special broadcast where RC and Pete and Corey they're going to do all kinds of stuff. They're going to take you through this whole collection of brushes and color sets and textures and all. It's from 7 to 8 p.m. And so tune in and be eligible for some cool prizes and stuff. And we don't really have a website for it, do we?
Just go to kelby1.com.
Yeah, go to kelby1.com. I'm
The
sure there'll be
register
lots of
website.
things that say, come to our thing. And anyway, we'll have all kinds of stuff.
kelby1.com/cyberweekend.
There it is, kelby1.com/cyberweekend. Now, I won't be here. I'll be in Fort Lauderdale, but I'll be here in spirit. What time's our plane land, Brad?
Coming back here?
Yeah.
Well, leaves Fort Lauderdale at 7:15.
15, so probably 7:30 here.
Yeah, we're going to miss it. Anyway, we're going to miss it, but good. Anyway, how about winning some books? Here's where you go. You go to Kelby. Where do we go?
You're going to go to
You go to
kelby1.com/webcast/contest. Go ahead and click on the drop-down link. Make sure that you fill in the grid, put in your name, put in your email address, leave us a comment. Tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. We want to be able to answer your questions. One of you guys is going to win a copy of...
Not one of them. We're giving like 3 or something,
Oh,
right?
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, one
Okay.
copy. It's kind of...
So we're giving away the Adobe Photoshop CC book for digital photographers. I like the cover.
Yeah.
Looking at it, pretty good. Hefty book. If you want to get up to speed in Photoshop CC, this is going to be the book for you.
All right. We also have some other deal. God, there's so many deals. This one is the Adobe Creative Cloud Photography Plan. That is Lightroom for desktop plus Lightroom Mobile plus Adobe Photoshop CC. It's only $9.99 a month.
But there's still a lot of people that don't know that. Like, I go on tour and I'm like, how many of you guys use Lightroom? I'm like, well, I haven't upgraded yet. I'm like, you can get this thing for $9.99, Photoshop and Lightroom together.
Yeah.
kelby1.com/switch.
Yeah, kelby1.com/switch. Can we just go to the Brad camera real quick for a second? All right, and then back. Okay, anyway, thanks. Sometimes you just look over at the set and Brad's just doing stuff and you're just like, what is he doing over there? Oh God, there he's there. Stuff like that. That's happening for a solid hour. Not that particular move. He has many moves. He's a Swiss Army knife of moves. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I know we ran over a little on time today, which is not good, but I tell you, we could have talked to Kevin for another hour. If we had a 2-hour show, when it comes to backup, everybody wants to talk about it and stuff. So I think one of the best things to do is just go download the Mylio demo and try it out and stuff. I have it on all my devices, and it's really, when you start to look at the technology that's going on there, they got some really clever people. Brad, what are you? Oh, now he's doing nothing. But a minute ago, it was weird. Anyway.
I think he was fanning.
Was it? You're a fan?
Kind of,
I think he was back
just waiting on
fanning.
you guys to finish.
Oh.
All right. Hey, time's up. Thanks, everybody. And John Balboni was here, not just in spirit, but actually sitting here looking at us and making us very uncomfortable. Anyway, no, just kidding. We never have a studio audience, so, it's like today we do.
Yeah.
We have 2 people in our studio. Well, Ronnie's 3. That's like, it's crazy. 3.
Oh.
We hope one day to have 4. I think 3's as much as we've ever had, isn't
That's
it?
it.
Like 7 in here before.
We had 7?
We've had a bunch of people in here before.
No, really?
Yes.
Turn off his mic. Thanks for watching,
Probably was
everybody.
off.
We'll see you next week on The Grid Live, where we'll have something.
Take care, everybody.
RC says bye. Oh, we're zooming out.